Hello everyone, PaperSpock here, coming at you with another late-night episode of Heaven's Vault. I'm going to try to show you a little something today, which may take a little bit of work on my part, because I haven't exactly done this on the technical side before. But first of all, I did some looking today. I wasn't able to record earlier today, but I was able to open the game, and so I looked at all of my inscriptions. And let's see, solvable inscriptions. Heaven's Vault waits. Good. Okay, so it seems like it saved most of the ones. I went in and looked at the solvable inscriptions and tried to go through them, but then I also went in and I looked at every solved inscription, and I tried to pull in as many confirmed words as I could into Microsoft Paint, which is how I generally tend to try to handle it when I am gathering notes while playing a game. Is I'll take a screenshot, I'll paste it into a file in Microsoft Paint. So what I'm going to do quickly is pull it open and maybe talk about it just a little bit before I get started properly in the game. So we're going to back out. We're going to say let's start sailing. Get to the screen where we choose our location. Excuse me. Apologize for the coughing. So, just to kind of think about things. Honestly, we've had a lot of revelations since last time. I think I want to go to the Eye of the Cyclones because, as I think I said at the end of the last episode, it was quite late and I was quite sleepy by then, but I think there's something interesting in the Eye of the Cyclones that I've been ignoring because that actually has been available for me to go to for a very long time. I've just been tugging at other narrative threads. So we will probably go there next. But first, I am going to attempt to go out and hopefully this works. Hopefully right now you're seeing my Microsoft Paint. And these are all my Heaven's Vault words that I have confirmed so far in kind of this mishmash. Not the best organization ever, but I think it works well enough for now. For what I'm trying to do anyway. Move this over to the left. But anyway, the left column over here are words I have identified as verb words. And it's not quite complete because there's some words that get confirmed that aren't easy. It's not totally easy to find a list of confirmed words. It's easy to find a list of confirmed phrases you've translated, but it's not so easy to go ahead and find a list of confirmed, excuse me again, words. So, did I learn anything doing this? The thing is, right now I have not made any grand conclusions from this, but maybe there's a few things I can talk about. Let's go along the left column. I have follow, open, rise. These are one of the things I've noticed is I can draw a little circle around it right now. So there's my circle tool. Here's red. We're going to zoom in. Is follow. This symbol here. It's kind of swoosh. That's for follow. There it is, an open, rise. Those are definitely things where movement is taking place. So as best I can interpret it, I see it as a movement sign. Looking for it elsewhere. Return. So in return, there is kind of a movement. You're moving back to where you were. Go. That's pretty basic. So we have go. So that's a movement symbol to me. This symbol here is, of course, the verb symbol. I think I've called it a quarter circle, or two nested quarter circles is how I think I referred to it. That symbol there I don't have a good sense for. Vault. we have a movement symbol. So my idea of Heaven's Vault being not the noun vault, but the verb vault, which I think I discussed last time. We have the verb symbol, we have the movement symbol, and I think these symbols somehow mean to go upward or something like that, or pointing in an upward direction. Uh, Let me see if I can find another example of them here. Rise. Okay, so rise. So move up. So maybe. So if one is rise and two is vault, then that kind of makes sense because it's even more rising than a rise, or it's kind of like a double rise. So going through looking at some other symbols here. So make. We have make here, but not sure. I think this might have something to do with build. So that might have a different meaning, but I'm not quite as sure of that. Look. Look I don't have a good sense for. It's a confirmed word, but that symbol is maybe the god symbol. I'm not sure. And that is, I can't remember what it was, but I think it's associated with stars. Possibly. Let me go zoom out, find heaven or heavens. Heavens. Ah, yes. Okay. I want to see heavens and I want to see star. So heavens, zoom in on there a little better. Oops. Okay. Heavens has the up symbol that I just said I think means up. And it has... That's associated with light over here, over to the right. And I think it's in the word for stars, too. Yes. So three things and then up. So uplight would be stars. That would make some sense. I'm still curious what the symbol over at the right means, though. How that modifies the meaning of things. So talking through things a little bit more here. These are kind of miscellaneous words, or words that didn't group well, mostly. Not entirely, but mostly. Because we have is. Is interesting because the word is a verb, but it's not grouped with the other verbs, like follow, open, because usually we denote a verb with the double quarter circle at the start, like I showed off earlier. But this doesn't have that. Maybe it's something in terms of it being shorthand. Maybe it's somehow different in another way I haven't fully appreciated. Maybe there's other verbs outside of the category of the verbs that get the double quarter circle in front of them. Pray. So, okay, so something I noticed. So we have all the people symbols uh, here in this column, vaguely. And so goddess, emperor. So we have that in goddess. We have it in emperor twice. And I hadn't realized earlier that emperor, the order of these two symbols, I thought these two symbols were in the same order as in goddess, but they aren't. They're swapped around. That's a little interesting to me, but a goddess and an emperor are both kind of types of people. Like I said, goddess is a little bit of a different category. You, we have that symbol. So I we have for we have I. Now the interesting thing about I is the achievement here, the achievement you get when you translate your first word or translate your, well, you get your first confirmed word, I should say, or your first confirmed translation. It has this symbol here. So that means one. So person number one is I, or something like that. That's kind of how I'm interpreting that. So kind of gone through my people here, my people symbols. I think that kind of curly Q type thing is a person signifier of some sort, and then that would mean this other part is the part that signifies a connection to God or the goddess. And we've had this is goddess here, but there are instances where they do say God rather than goddess. So I'm a little bit curious what the religion looks like in terms of gods and such. Anyway, is there anything else I want to draw attention to right now? I'm just kind of scrolling through. That symbol seems to mean multiple. That symbol seems to mean all. That's what I've been calling the location symbol, though it's a little weird in association with it being the word fill. I'm not totally firm with that being a location symbol, but it does seem very location-y in some of its appearances. So much so I'm going to try to. Well, I only have two examples right now, so maybe that's an indicator I'm not quite correct. But palace. So this is. Let's compare the second half to emperor. So emperor, we have. We'll just do a quick copy and paste, and then I'll delete it because I'm not trying to save anything right now. So okay, it is identical. I couldn't quite remember some of the symbols. So it's basically if you take emperor and add that, you get palace. So it's maybe like home of the emperor. One thing that very much vexes me is we get little dots like that all the time, and it's not quite clear to me how they modify things. I would love to know how they modify things, and I don't. This symbol I've pretty much taken to mean a certain kind of noun. Uh, water, light, heart, song, stars, sailcloths, time, blood, nebula. This is not quite a noun. This is a pronoun, I believe. Way is kind of noun-like. This also gets translated as path. I, but these are usually fairly specific things. Uh, Usually not very conceptual, with some exceptions, unfortunately. I don't like that time is here because time is more of a concept than a lot of these are, and it kind of throws a wrench in my theory. We do have machine. Let's look at machine, angry, and falsehood for a bit. Machine, that makes me confident of the robot translation. But, okay, yes. This is what was interesting to me, is we have an inversion here where that symbol on the right, usually we would consider that to mean the uh, the noun signifier. That's what we usually have the noun signifier. But it's at the end here. And so that's wild to me. Like, what does it mean when it's at the end? What does it mean when it's not at the start? Machine very much seems like a kind of a noun. This symbol, though, I see why it's machine-like. I think I do, because there's a translation passage that has the what I think is the word robot, and it also has this symbol. Interestingly, it also had a similarity to Songbird, because like I said, I did go into the game and go through my solvable ones that basically I just needed to click through. I accidentally wound up in one that I hadn't properly solved earlier that I did go through. I can't remember what that one was, but it was from a while ago. Falsehood. Okay, so this symbol here, angry and falsehood, I think they're conceptual type nouns, something like an idea. I would expect to get that, but time again is a little shaky as to why it's in that category, but that symbol currently I associate that way. Okay, the X. The X is a negation of some sort. This symbol here I see as the adjective symbol, which could be wrong. This symbol I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's one place where it can mean fire, and fire and anger are linked enough that I like that pretty well. This symbol here, I think, is a symbol of certainty, or a symbol of an intensifier. I think there's a context where it turns should into must. I might even have it among my confirmed words. But let me see. Okay, should and must. Yes, there it is. The difference between should and must is this symbol right here. And should and will are actually the same, which is interesting to me because they don't quite feel like the same word. Like, I should do that and I will do that. There's lots of things I should do that I maybe don't end up doing. So, will is kind of an interesting word here for me. Anyway, skipping back down here, what else did I want to draw attention to? I think this is a life-related sign, but I'm not totally sure of it. I know it appears in heart. I know it appears in the word for die. The X is a negation. I think that pretty much covers this section. I am just kind of trying to skim. This is the mystery symbol. This is one of the symbols I'm extremely curious about. It looks like the noun indicator, but it's like if you fused the noun indicator and the word of. So, I'm not totally sure what to make of it. I think it's in sailcloths. Sailcloths. Let me look. Yes, it's in sailcloths. But it's in a context where it's confusing to me. Because we have noun indicator, we have verb indicator. So let's say we had a word that meant die, and then we put the noun indicator in front of it, because to die is a verb. But if we put the noun indicator in front of it, my assumption would be something like, oh, it became death. And so here we have that, and then we have this symbol. So it feels like this symbol has a meaning in and of itself. We also have the mysterious colon symbol here, which feel is like a linking symbol to do something like create compound words, but I'm not totally sure of it. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with that. Time, we have the mysterious indicator here, but this circle here seems to be strongly associated to time. I think I said when I was translating blood, I thought was life, water. I know this symbol here is water. I think this is life. That would be an interesting way of expressing blood. Nebula, I think this is like a symbol associated with many or to indicate multiple. So multiple, and then these are stars, or pretty close to how we say stars. And I'm just kind of going through, seeing if I can make any other comments on things I noticed, because I did spend a lot of time on my own. This is a symbol that I've barely seen and is very mysterious to me. I would like to know more about that symbol. Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of going back and looking through things. So now that we have spent like a good chunk of time talking about it, we'll head back to the game. I'm just going to check to be sure that things have loaded in. And I'm selecting the Eye of the Cyclones and just checking the preview, and I see that it is showing up. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to enter the Eye of the Cyclones. And we should be, yes, heading through Ioxian space. I wonder what we're going to learn. It has been a while. I also haven't had volume from the game just yet, but I think it's quiet portion. Okay, there we have our music. Go right shortly, mistress. And there's a lot that we learned last night. Oh, good. We almost didn't make it, because I took a bit too much of a turn. I can remark. If Huang was right about the robe, Then an emperor died on this moon we're heading for. Yeah, so I have some other theories, too, that I may need to pause to talk about if I can't work it in, because we learned some interesting things last time, which was we were told the theory that the Emperor's body was not burned, and so he didn't re-enter the loop. That was interesting to me in connection with another thread, which was what we have learned about the kid, about Amir.
Sailing through Eagle's Pass, I thought I saw a gigantic ship, as large as a moon, moving down the river like a shadow. Of course, I was ahead of it, and by the time I looped around, it was gone.
Okay, so now that thought's completed, Amir is the only kid we've seen. Maersi doesn't have any children. There was a comment that there wasn't... that Aaliyah didn't see any children that she remembered on Iox. I know that Elbereth has children, because that's where Amir originally was from. That's where Aaliyah was originally from. And she was recently a child. Either of these branches lead to our destination, mistress. So, they both came from Elbereth. So Elbereth sometimes has children. I don't know that I remember a lot of children on Elbereth. Next time I'm there, that's something I'll pay more attention to. And so basically, I'm wondering if children are rare in this world to begin with for some reason, and it's just not noticed for some other reason. And I think perhaps we have the case where maybe the Emperor is not the only one whose body wasn't burned. This is assuming the religion presented in this game is accurate. The loop is real, that the spiritual beliefs we've been presented in this game are accurate. So assuming those, and the game isn't just going to say, nope, that's not true. But then, if you stop burning bodies, you could create a situation where there wouldn't be any new children because things have to loop around, and the source of children, in kind of a way, would be bodies being burnt to move on. And something I hadn't thought of earlier, because I had thought about this little myself earlier, is that we didn't see Renba's body. And Maersi thought that Renba, well, made it seem like Renba had burned. So, if there is some conspiracy to not burn bodies, I don't know exactly what you would achieve by doing this. It doesn't necessarily seem good to have there be no children. But if you did manage to rob the world of children for some reason by doing this, then you would be in the habit of pretending that someone had died and their body had been burned when it hasn't, so Renba would be just another. So that's the possibility. I don't know if I'm accurate here, but just something I've been thinking of. And then, either route ahead continues to our destination at the next junction. Just I'm gonna quickly see if I prefer either. Nope, I don't prefer either. I have no preference. But anyway, that's something that's been bouncing around in my head. Oh, we got sent over this way. I hope that's okay. Oh yes, Elbereth. So if Elbereth is where children are showing up, what if they're showing up there through gates? Like the way that, like the opposite had happened. There appears to be a trail in the water. Feels good to be back on a real river again. So what if children aren't being born on Elbereth, or being born elsewhere and then sent to Elbereth using the hopper technology. I'm not sure about that, but I do know that Amir doesn't know. I'm not sure if Amir doesn't know his parents, or I'm not sure whether Amir doesn't know his
My
parents.
Ari tried to stop me from sailing. She said it was dangerous. But I don't think she meant dangerous. I think she meant wrong. She's afraid of the rivers. Afraid of what all that space can do to you on the inside.
So, Campbell's Teeth. Oh yeah, this is pretty fast. That might be the fastest we've traveled. Let's look at the map a little. Okay, we're looping around a little. Anyway, are we headed the wrong way on this? No matter. So I also realized that route leads straight ahead here. So I, and by I mean Aaliyah, is also an orphan from Elbereth, who I don't know that she remembers as her parents. We're not through it yet. In fact, I'm fairly certain she doesn't. Fairly certain her origin, the start of her story, is mysterious. That we don't even have a true age on her, a true date of birth, which I just passed off at the beginning as just kind of mysterious circumstances for her birth. Oh my word, we're not through it yet. Vicinity of the Eye of the Cyclops. This is exciting. Very exciting. I almost started singing Sonic the Hedgehog song. Escape from the City. I almost did, but I didn't. We're now at the Eye of the Cyclone's Mistress. Well, this is... It seems we have not been down either of these paths before, Mistress. I'm gonna look at where we're at. Okay, this is kind of a... I'm not looking through the inscriptions. I don't want to look through the inscriptions. Close this. I want to look at the history. Maybe you just get there through the inscriptions anyway. Okay, all... Now, let's go to now. Known words, Iox. My life. Let's go to back to the beginning of my life. Reconfirm this. Why can't I go... Okay, I ended up in the kidnap tab. I was like, why can't I go before that time? My birth. I don't know the true late. The Grey Ladies gave me a day different from the other children in the orphanage. I don't know a lot about the Grey Ladies either. And they don't have their own tab. Elbereth. The marketplace is established. That was a very long time ago, so things on Elbereth before my birth. Not a lot to go on. So, Roy, Grey Ladies Orphanage. They raised me and found me work from the moment I could walk. So I met a Roy before the Grey Ladies Orphanage? No, that's during. My birth. Don't have a true date. So yeah, I met her during my time at the Grey Ladies Orphanage. The Grey Ladies gave me a day different from the other children in the orphanage. I would like to see that orphanage. Meeting Roy. Let's see. Is this the earliest thing I know about Roy? Yeah. Okay. Timor. Roy's son is born. He works for Timor. Oh, there is a birth. There is a birth. Roy has had children. Okay. So there are some births. Okay. Elbereth, 3 breaks down. Amir travels through the Catkiss Gate. Hoppers. Ooh. We have a whole category for hoppers. Amir. There are no children on my RC. I hadn't noticed until Amir pointed it out to me. Okay. That's just a time frame from... It starts 12 years ago. I don't know why it starts 12 years ago, but... Boy is stranded on the Dome Market, surviving alone on fruit and water. That was the other question I had was, where did he get the fruit and water from? I just kind of skimmed over that detail a little too much, and that's a question for me. And I'm curious about. Landed on Myerste again, left Amir with the Myersteans. Pig sent me a message. Amir told me an ancient word, Ifarali. He says he heard it from his pigs. I had traveled to the lush rice fields of Myerste on the trail of... Okay, yes. We're going to continue our journey now. I think I've gotten out a lot of the things that I learned last time that I wanted to discuss. Ah, we very much seem to be headed somewhere of note. I see it. There's something up ahead. A moon? There is air, but no upriver, mistress. We will need to leave the ship here and hop her down. Please do not be alarmed. It is no different from the Elbereth Gate. We've hoppered down before, I think, at this point, so this is definitely making me think the Eye of the Cyclones. Will Renba be waiting here for us in the center of the storm? Yeah, I definitely feel like I should have come here earlier.
The hopper fired, and for a moment I was gone. Not aboard the Nightingale, not on the moon beneath. It could have been a heartbeat or an hour.
Is this going to be the area from the beginning of the game?
But I didn't feel the cold until I reappeared.
A pile of rocks, mistress. Smashed together by the waters. Seems Janiki had a taste for places like this. Wonder why. Perhaps he did not like people. This way, then. I'm walking the wrong way intentionally to see if I can see where there is. I hope he'll be pleased to see us. Do you think we'll find him? I prefer to believe that we will. I would like to meet him again. I do not remember him well, but I do bear him no ill will. So I wonder how different the game has been because I haven't gone here until now. Perhaps Renba is waiting for us just around this corner. When we hopper him back to the Nightingale, and this chapter of my life will be done. Yeah, that feels... Perhaps, mistress. Perhaps. We can only hope. That definitely sounds like dialogue I should have heard way earlier in the game. I guess part of the reason I didn't go there is it was a region rather than a specific point, and I thought I could only go to specific points for some reason. Hold it, 6. What's that?
Here, in the middle of the hurricane, there was a house. It was fine. Tucked in below the overhanging rock. Wooden beams, mud brick walls, shutters. Large enough for 2 families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
Someone built this? Buildings do not occur naturally, mistress. That's funny. That's very true. How did Janiki find it? I hope we can ask him, mistress. That's a bit of a drop. Do not fall, mistress. So robots are capable of hope? Certainly. We calculate odds, of course. But even the most unlikely outcomes must always occur eventually. Hope is a mathematical certainty. Some kind of structure over there. There's a plinth inside. It looks like a shrine. It might help me date this place. Figure out what it's supposed to be. I like that. The mathematics does not care whether you like it or not, mistress. It feels a little bit more like early game dialogue overall, so... I could vault over the wall here! Oh heavens, she could vault! Please, mistress, the floor beyond would only give way beneath you. Nah, we're climbing over. There's no other way. There goes. Yay. The floor seems sound enough. 6? Where did the robot go? Oh, 6. Clambered into the ruin, remark. Look at this place, Aaliyah. No one would live here. They couldn't. 6? I do wonder about the other robots. So robots abandoned me for once. Is that smoke? I wonder. That is definitely smoke. Oh, Rinba. That's your ship, isn't it? This doesn't bode well for Rinba.
The ghosts were still here, cooking, reading, doing whatever ghosts do. The house was empty, but it hadn't been abandoned.
Why build something as big as this out here? Who was it for? There we are. Hello, 6. Mistress. Evidently it is good to see you intact, mistress. How did you get down from that arch? I could not climb over the wall, so I drove myself off the cliff edge. Once I had dug myself out of the sand, I found a door. Why do you do that for, 6? Now you understand why I keep losing robots. They're always doing stupid stuff like that. The smoke must be Renba. He thought he'd blown himself up. Or crashed. Okay. I will wait for you down here, mistress. I cannot climb stairs. Another important establishing feature to make ramps seem more significant later on. Blocked. Or blocked. Or both. Okay. Let's peek around. Is there something there I can read? A rough bed. Hardly comfortable. If the Emperor really lived here... excuse me, then it wasn't just the Empire that fell. Go even higher. Let's see what's up here. Ruin and rubble. I glint amongst the stones. There's something wedged here. A scrap from the scroll's scorched paper. It looks like something from the Holy Empire. There's a painted annotation on it. Oh boy. This is the start of a fragment of text. Devotion, loyalty. Yeah, I don't see that here. That's interesting to include such a long phrase as a distractor. Wait. It is very similar, though. It lines up until on the right-hand side, up until the center. Okay. Love. You think that's love? Of love. And then do. Maybe put it up here. Yes, okay, cool. I'm sure my translation for love is correct now. Okay, what's this? So I think it's... Oh, River Freedom Book Source. So blank of love. So source of words of love would be... Oh, let me think. So this is... I'm expecting a noun here. Stories, words, rivers, all apply. Precious does not. Rivers, I would probably expect the water symbol. So it's words or stories. Stories of love, words of love. Do I have something to tell that apart? I am noticing a symbol that I saw in both pray and sing. But it's confusing to me. And also the beginning is kind of complicated. So this is a noun of a word that's usually an adjective. An adjective of a word that's usually a verb. And then the verb is this thing, but also not this thing. Which I think might mean something like say. Say, but not say. So, honestly, I kind of like words because we have three major parts of speech that I've identified here. And a way of saying words maybe is just throwing down all the symbols. That's kind of a weird idea. Maybe stories, though, also. This prayer, pray, song, story kind of fits that category. Story would be... Sheesh, I don't know. Okay. Something of stories of love, something of words of love. River of stories of... Book of stories of love? Book of words of stories would make more sense. Source of stories of love. Source of words of love. Source of rivers of love. I'm just kind of iterating through possibilities here. I like source. Don't like river, again, because I don't see the water symbol. Freedom, I feel like would be more complicated. Book, so it's a thing of, and then a god-related symbol. But I like book because it's stories or words. Book of words of love, stories of love. I feel like I'm going to go with stories. Unless I went with words. I'm not sure. What's the difference between a... There's a lot of difference between a story and a word. You tell a story. Seeing the tell symbol here. The tell, not tell thing. Okay, let's assume song, prayer, some kind of utterance. So it's an utterance, but not an utterance. Perhaps. I don't know why we have the negation here after we have the thing. It's rather confusing to me. I'm going to go with stories, and we'll see what she thinks. Book of Stories of Love. I'll try that again later. She does not sound confident. I think this comes from the same place as the tablet and the page I found before. Having this should be helpful in pinning down where these were made. This should help us work out where to look for a place called the Withering Palace. Ooh, it's from the Withering Palace. What's this? It's a little... Oh, it's quite different than the rest of the building. Some kind of telescope? The position and the bearings are fixed. And the material on this is totally wrong. Is it metal? I want to put my telescope in there. It looks like something Leroy might have built. I must remember to ask her about it. And those are scratches in the top here. Something fitted inside the frame and was removed by force. Did you take something, Janiki? But if so, what was this stand meant to hold? How about the telescope I have? I feel like I'm not getting that option, but I feel this means that oh, there's something over there. The smoke, I know. I can't make it out. Looks like wreckage. Could be old, of course. Although it is smoking, yeah, that's unlikely. Okay, we're gonna go back down. We're gonna talk with 6. Going to further explore. Just don't look down, Leah. Okay, I guess we're gonna climb down. Reunite with 6. Explore the basement. Where are you, 6? Oh, there you are. A heavy wooden box. This looks interesting. Beautifully made. Much nicer than everything else here. I estimate it to be hollow, mistress. Can you open it? Oh, I should have looked at the something inscribed on the lid. Not locked, mistress, but stiff. And I lack fingers for leverage. I'll try for myself. Move over. Let's see if I can shift it. Curses. I've got fingers, but I can't get them under the lid. Symbols on the lid. Look at the symbols on the lid first. There might be a clue as to what's in there. Treasures, okay, I like that. Treasures of... And then the last one is... Interesting. Water. Truth, value, or misery? Sorrow, okay. Usually I would say misery, being sorrow, makes me think of tears, which is water associated. But I don't quite like that because water seems revered. They use water in religious language sometimes. Okay. Enormous, great, tiny, big, kind. Treasures of great misery, great value. So the upside down noun symbol, I think means, as I've said, something conceptual. So truth and value and misery, all of these are conceptual. So that feels like further confirmation, but truth is very conceptual. Corrupt is an adjective. Value can be a verb, but it can be a noun. Misery is a noun. So corrupt is conceptual, but it's not a noun or noun adjacent thing. Truth, value, misery. I like truth, but treasures of truth, treasures of big truth, big value. They value the river. They value waters. That's a high value thing. Treasures of great value. Enormous value. Great and enormous are very similar. So, adjectives. So, enormous, great, tiny, kind. All of these are adjectives. So that fits with my theory for the adjective symbol on the left. So, many, many of many. Or big, big of big. Many. Holiest and intensifier. Nebula, I thought as many stars. So, I would say numerous. But great. Great and enormous. Great and enormous are similar but not identical. I'm going to go with great. Treasures of great value. I don't think it's a horrible translation. That will do for now. Mayari will be most excited by the find, mistress, whatever proves to be inside. Assuming we can... Well, let's keep this one to ourselves, maybe. Let's see how 6 responds to that. Valuable finds, mistress? Of course she must be told. Why do you suppose I am here? We'll have to get it open. I think it's a reliquary. A place to put your belongings in when you die. The idea is you get them back when you return. That's what loopers say anyway. Let's use the pocket knife. Might be able to snap the lock. Mistress, is it moving? It's definitely shifting. Here goes then. Hey! Bless the wind. The knife shattered. Oh no. Let's see
And
what's
there it
inside.
was, just lying there. The greatest treasure I ever found.
Whoa. 6. Look at this.
From inside the coffer, from the distant past of the nebula's once great empire.
Incredible.
It was a crown.
Eagle and sun motif. If I put it on, I'm feeling a little silly. Hope she means that in a playful way. If you like, mistress. Evidently it is a hat after all. I imagine it might suit Professor Mayari better. You have to tell me if it suits me. I don't know if we're playing. I think we're playing. I hope we're playing. Oh my gosh. What do you think? I like it. Most regal, mistress. I was hoping maybe I could wear it for the rest of the game. Did you hear that? I want to look for an inscription. I thought I heard a voice. Ooh. I heard nothing, mistress, and my hearing is considerably better than yours. Strange. We hear voices if we put on the crown? Is that how this works? There's something written along the rim. Okay, this is a phrase run together. So many words. Okay, it ends with forever. But I'm not sure it ends with forever. Wind? We have wind in here? I don't think we have wind in here. I like starting with longer phrases, so we. Light. Something light we. But it's of light. Oh, it could just be of. Something of light we. Let's throw in forever. I'm just kind of throwing things at the wall now to see what sticks. Wind of light we blank forever. Okay, what do we have near the start we could throw in here? We have an of we could toss at the beginning. If anything with a move symbol. Throw an of here. Doesn't seem to do anything. I don't like of there. I don't like it starting with the word of. Forever. Wind. We have wind. We have forever. We have act. We have of. I don't like this, what I'm doing here, but I'm hoping it'll eliminate a possibility. That's all I can think of. Of wind, of light, react. Forever? Aha, I crowned myself. I saw something from the roof. It looked like wreckage from a ship. Mistress? Are you saying you climbed up onto the roof of this place? I sure am, 6. You've missed the point of what I said, 6. Point is, Janiki's ship is probably in pieces out there. Is the crown what Mayari wanted us to find? Is this why she sent us out here looking? Mistress. I will have to tell her, mistress. I have no choice. There's an inscription up here. Hopefully I'll learn a word I can use to interpret the crown better. This is one of several words. Water. Goddess. Fire. I can add my translation for fire to my dictionary now. Let's go. Okay, water goddess. Blesses fire. The water goddess blessing fire seems unusual. The water goddess loving fire seems unusual. The water goddess demanding fire? Also unusual. But the water goddess thinking water? Extremely unusual. Blessing. Okay, we have the word for blessing. So it's almost identical. I think it has to be blesses. But note that we have a dot in blesses. Okay, so the differences between blessing and blesses. Blessing is a noun, has the noun symbol in front. Next are double quarter circle matches. Then we have our apostrophe meaning of. Then we have a dot. And that's the difference. We have the dot in blesses, but not in blessing. Then we have the split curly Q, another dot which matches, and then the final curl that isn't split, which I think is the God symbol. Blesses feels like the best guess, though. Does water goddess blesses fire make sense? This is a fireplace after all. That is true. Perhaps they were afraid of it burning the house down. Interesting interpretation. The building won't actually cave in on us, will it? I cannot guarantee that, mistress. See if there's a chance to say something else. Okay, I'm going to comment on the cot. Another cot. I found one just like this on the floor above. I wonder what would have happened if I found this first. Someone grew old, or too ill to climb back upstairs. They made a bed down here instead. Someone died right here, mistress. Last Emperor of Iox? Is that possible? He lay here under a funeral wrap. Until what? Did Renba take him? Or maybe something ate him? I've been upstairs. Have I explored down here enough? There's axes. All this speculation is fascinating, mistress. But are we not losing sight of the wreckage of Renda's ship? That is indeed what you
After
saw?
the dead air of the house, it was good to see the sky again.
Oh man, you have collected two promising artifacts here, the scrap of paper and the crown. Luck we will be able to trace them. I suggest we take the crown to Professor Mayari directly. We must also inform her of our theories about Renba. I'd like to activate the helper now, mistress? Heck no. We've still more to do here. I want to explore the house further. There must be more to this place. We haven't even looked at the wreckage. I want to know who died here and what happened to Renba. Yeah, you're silly. Don't so much want to take another. Oh, I wasn't going to take another look inside a workbench. I wanted to see if there was another exit. Whoever lived here would have needed to be self-sufficient. Then they would have needed to have water, mistress. Anything hiding in the shadows? Certainly there is. Ah, that door does not open. This door might, though. Wonder if the door is jammed. Or if it might open. Very cool. Painting. Okay, just the painting, I think, back here. Look at this! Swirls and flows! It's the river! It's a map! These are rivers! The detail! It's beautiful. These look like the rivers of Ghost Wake. But no one goes to Ghost Wake. Is there an inscription? It seems so. Okay. Location of heart. Or location. So, safe. I think maybe that means that we're home. Me. Keep me safe? My translation safe is off. Home. Take me home. Take me home, country road. This is definitely a map. Was it drawn by whoever died here? Is this where whoever lived here came from? I thought the person who lived here was the Emperor of Iox. No one comes from Ghost's Wake. We might have had some weird conversations that ended early because we hadn't fulfilled some prerequisites. That's possible. That has crossed my mind. So yeah, let's go. Let's find the wreckage. I am so tempted to burst out into song right now, but are you ready to go? No, 6. Thank you for asking. Not just yet. Need to go back. Oh, interesting. What's this crown doing out here? Was this a seat of power in the Empire? I think it was just a place to hide away. This place, it doesn't seem possible. Okay, a stone pedestal. With someone in it. It's Cabenia from Myercy. A local goddess? I think it is Cabenia. It's been a while since I've seen her, but I think it is. Did farmers from Myercy build this place? Figurine. Simply fashioned. Not a treasure. A functional item. What can you tell us, I wonder? Their inscription on you? I found an etched motif on it. Yes! It hurts my eyes to try and read it. Well, it starts with a question. One of this is a phrase. Phrase run together. Okay. When? We know that to be true. When? Or may? No, no, no. Okay. May he? I believe you are correct with may, mistress. May something be something. May. May temples? Rivers? I don't think it's... I usually wouldn't think it's rivers. Serpent is something kind of connected here. Fields, worlds, moon. May something be lush, free, written. Many, whatever down arrow pointing at a line means. That's close to the symbol for and, but with an arrow pointing at it. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I'm not sure. Live. Live, I think, would have the other symbol with it. By which I mean, I think it would have the thing all the way in the right and withering. The thing I also associated with heart. I think that's the life symbol. I think live would incorporate that, and it doesn't. Lush, free, written. Lush. Written, I would expect a verb in there somewhere. because I'd expect it to be a form of the word right, so we'd have our two half circles. I think it would be a modified form of that, probably, so it probably isn't written. Lush, I like. Free, I don't like as well. Free, so many, and then something with down, so be lush. May fields? Fields be lush? Kinda like that. May fields be lush. It's the goddess from Mercy, isn't it? Mistress, you can recognize her by her hat. That's not a hat, Six. It's an aura. You are correct, mistress. It is not a hat. Evidently, it is more technically a fascinator. I don't want you to take us back to the ship. The shrine itself is made of stone. But it's not the same stone as the moon itself. Is it as old as the building? The outer structure is, certainly. The stone pillar, no. The buildings here are significantly older than the pillar. How old would you say the pillar is, then? Mid to late Empire period, mistress. Moving it to this moon must have been difficult. Can we take it with us? I think the answer is no. No, mistress. I cannot lift it, and you certainly cannot carry it. Is the stone from Myercy? I don't believe it is. I think it's from that mining site we're at. No, mistress. Definitely not. Perhaps it's from the moon and ghost wake we saw on the map. A treasured possession, perhaps. I mean, I think it probably is. That feels obvious. A valuable one. Evidently, it is significantly more valuable than the goddess we found within. Okay. Oops, I was walking into a wall, as I like to do, because I'm just goofy. Seems quite apparent. The building is at least 700 years old. How did you work that out? I've been observing the rate of weathering on the stones, mistress. Extrapolating, this building is older than the founding of the Holy Empire on Iox. You know, Six, back on Iox they say nothing is older than the Empire. The Empire and the Fall are all that has ever been. Iox does not believe in history. What is it they think you do? If Iox, a channel. Is this channel natural? I don't think it is. Dug out. There must be a wellspring here. A feeble one. One that requires every drop to be used. Water would have run down the channel, right past the house. Imagine having a stream of your own. Not a bad way to live. If you can withstand the soul-crushing loneliness. Okay, we're coming in on the wreckage. By all the moons and waters. Oh yeah, this does not look great. It's a ship. I mean, it was a ship. Blackened. Are you sure this was Janiki's ship? Oh yeah. No, mistress. But the circumstantial evidence is very strong. You recall the propellant on the tool chest? There are further traces here. For a part, blackened. Presumably, the ship was still burning as it fell. This was the hull. It must have been an explosion, mistress. Enough to be seen on Mercy. Janiki himself? Mistress. There is no hope. Juniki must have been sailing when it fell. He cannot possibly have survived. For some reason that makes me really think he survived. So what do we do now? Return Diox and inform Professor Mayari. Mistress, I suppose... I always assumed we would find Renba. I assumed, I don't know. He was expecting us somewhere. Perhaps you can take the matter up with Renba in the next life, mistress. This channel comes up from the rock. There must be a wellspring here. Someone dug the channel to carry the water to the building. The spring is dead now, mistress. You're breathing the last air this moon has to offer. Juniki is not here, mistress. Neither is anyone else. Are you ready to go yet? Soon, not yet. Fire here must have burned up a lot of air. Remaining atmosphere is thin, mistress. Still, I believe the fire was extinguished before it consumed the whole ship. Someone lived out here. They irrigated the land, prayed. Here, in the eye of the cyclones. Some kind of hermit? Is there a way down? There might be more clues down there. I do not believe it would be wise, mistress. Indeed, I believe it would be quite the opposite. So if the Emperor was here, does that mean the crown is the crown? The crown of the Empire itself, lost in the fall? Seems like quite a coincidence otherwise. I'll find a way down here. Interestingly, this falls into this place where the water flows. I wonder if the loop is real, but it's longer than they say. There was a tripod up on the roof, empty now, but it looks like it might have held something once. What kind of something? I would guess a telescope. This must have been some kind of outpost observatory. An interesting theory, mistress, but I cannot imagine what they wanted to observe. Something under the wood. Where are you? I saw you. There's something under here. Seems to have survived the fire. Please, please don't be an arm. It's not an arm. A broken brass jug, originally from Renba's dug site, I assume. This must have been aboard Janiki's ship. Another of his finds. The inside is heavily stained. They must have belonged to a heavy drinker. It doesn't have an inscription along the handle. Darn it. That could have been cool. Must have burned for days. Yeah, we've... At least Renba's funeral wasn't presumptuous. I don't think Janiki found the crown, 6. I don't think that coffer has been opened in at least 500 years, mistress, and he must have known it was here. Why else come? Perhaps Janiki took something else with him. If so, that other item is lost. Okay, I think I'm ready to leave this place. I'm gonna quickly do a check at what time of night it is. Okay. Let's question again. Can your tracks handle this kind of terrain, 6? Excellently. Whoever designed my tracks appears to have had this kind of ground in mind. I get tired of walking. Maybe you can carry me. If you get tired, I will hopper you back to the ship. Another thing I wish this game had was a dedicated button to talk to Six, so that you could go back and transport it anytime. I can barely see the rivers above, and yet there's something here. Which makes me wonder, what else is out here waiting to be found? Mistress, please. We should not linger. If anything were to go wrong out here, we would never be found. We're all out here looking for Sneaky is my Ari's friend. You are not. Okay, there's nothing we can do here, Six. Nothing at all. You have found one more ancient artifact here, the broken jug. It would seem this site was connected to somewhere else. Are you ready to go, mistress? Let's do it. Leave the moon.
Darkness.
This is not the Nightingale. Six? I hate robots. I hate them. They always do this kind of thing. Right before they give you the speech about how it was for your own good. Mistress, you're about to stop on a small ant. My ethical core required me to lock you inside this packing crate. It's cold in here. There you are. I think the hopper misfired. This isn't the Nightingale. Mayari. Professor, is that you? There is no one here. You are quite alone. You might confess your lie quite safely. What lie? You are not what you claim. I know this, Mayari. You asked me to look, and I found so much. So who am I? You are just what you appear to be, and nothing more. Am I talking to Renba? There isn't time. I found something. Something that matters more than your lies. Lexi, there is a great darkness. An all-consuming, hungry darkness. And it is coming. How are you doing this, Janiki? How are you talking to me? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're dead. There is an ancient place, Mayari. An observatory. It is watching and holds the wires of our fate in its claws. An observatory? I will find it before the vault is lost. The robots know, but they don't remember. Someone long ago made certain they would not remember. Renba, how do I help you? Renba, just answer one question. Are you alive? I have no idea. You have my apologies, mistress? I do not understand the question. 6? Yes, mistress? I observe we are not back on the Nightingale. There must be something wrong with the hopper. I will look into it. This way, mistress. Don't you remember how we ended up in here? Hoppers can misfire due to imperfections, mistress. The eye aboard your ship is quite old. I see where we are now, although I still don't see how we got in there. There's an inscription. I'd guess it was a later addition to the building. This one is a broken fragment from an even longer phrase. Emperors die shall. Emperors shall. I can add my translation for die to my dictionary now. I like never here. Time not. It's like the opposite of forever. And I think forever was somewhat similar. Emperors shall never die. Someone wanted to live forever. Emperors, just as I thought. I wonder if we can wander back into this cave. And I wonder if we play this game again. Oh, no, we can't wander back in. Okay. What is over there? What is over there? I don't want to keep going, but I want to see what's over there. Other side of the rock face. There we go. An inscription on the rock? They inscribed the rock. I wasn't expecting an inscription. I was expecting, oh, we found this little thing down by the dirt and we dug it up and boom. Okay, I don't think that last symbol. You know what, maybe. Bless. This one has a lot of symbols, but I'm sure it translates as bless. Plants. Next. 1. Harvests. Fields and serpent. Both have this symbol. Let's look here. Harvests. Plants. Next and 1. Bless 1. I don't know about that. Harvests? Bless harvests? Dry channel. Bless plants. Bless. Plants and harvests don't feel associated with snakes. They do feel associated with fields. Kind of feel associated with withering. That one symbol meaning plants seems kind of weird. Next. 1. 1, I don't think it is. Next, it could be. I like harvests. I like plants best. Bless plants. Does bless plants work? A devotional inscription. To keep the water flowing. Not the sort of thing an important dioxine carves with a pocket knife. Perhaps this inscription is older. We've seen enough of this moon. Time to leave. Very good, mistress. Leave the moon. Let's continue. We returned to the ship and sprang up into the water. We could also go to Elbereth and show the crown to Toppy. But just look at this thing. I heard that whispering while I was wearing it. Interesting. I believe the metal is a casement for a mechanism of some kind. Does it open? Not in any way I can see. But if it does contain a mechanism, I would expect a method which it might be serviced. Roy may be able to help. He'd be able to open it up and take a look at it safely. The occupants of Elbereth are hardly trustworthy. I'm from Elbereth. And I know Roy. I will bear that in mind. Ooh. Let's take the river. Let's see what our options are. I will prepare the sheets, mistress. We've identified a swirl. Very good. River shaped like an ancient... A swirl in the river shaped like the sight from the mural. We could... Let's go to the site from the mural. The cyclones. Okay. Okay, it feels good to be back on a real river again. What's fascinating to me that I've been playing through this game. I feel like I missed, by all the waters, I missed a good chunk of what the game was trying to do to build tension and drama, because that's the sort of game, I mean, that's the sort of scene you would throw at the beginning of a game. Renbit didn't top her down, he landed his boat. Tried to. Or else he wasn't able to return. I suspect Master Renba attempted to detonate himself off the surface of the moon. Okay, we can pass control to 6. I'm going to rest. Okay, we're in the wires. We have reached uncharted waters, mistress. See which way we want to go. Not super uncharted.
Some say the rivers have a source. A single wellspring where they all begin. People love tidy explanations for things.
I wonder why Renba didn't use a hopper to land on that moon. Landing his ship must have been almost impossible. He was a devout believer in the Great Loop. The Lupus believe that offering is like throwing oneself into a river. It is intended for the dead. Eagle's Path. It removes part of the soul. Renva lost more than part of his soul back there. Indeed, mistress. So yeah, I'm trying to remember my train of thought. I don't know what I'm going to find in the place, but neither of these branches leads to a destination from here. Okay, so let's go left. Why is Ghostwake called that, mistress? They say Ghostwake is haunted. Excuse me? You know, according to Luke, the souls of the dead sail the rivers until they are reborn. Well, the story goes that most of them are asleep. Dreaming of childhood or lovers or big meals, I don't know. But sometimes they have nightmares, and then they might wake up. Those that stay awake forever trapped in the rivers formless. It's said they gather in Ghostwake. It said you can hear their helpless cries. I don't suppose it's true. Ghostwake has a lot of narrow, winding rivers and thick fog. The sort of place where sailors get lost and come back with crazed stories. Interesting to be reading that just as we entered. That's all. Okay, we'll take the right. Mistress, there is another airless ruin some distance away on the left. See if we can find that on our map. Oh, you're back there. Okay.
I found my first ruin the second time I went sailing. I was trying to get back to Elbereth, but of course I missed the turning and I found myself at the twisting rivers of the Wye. I pretty much screamed all the way down. But at the bottom, there it was. A hunk of rock with a dome. Big enough to tether to. I found a brass eagle. And I took it home to my army, like I'd killed the thing.
So Frenva found the last emperor, unreborn, but Mayari believes she is the last emperor. Does that give her reason enough to want to keep Renva silent? To somehow make him and his ship and his findings just disappear? That is pure speculation, mistress. Speculation, but not wrong then. Indeed. Okay, we're approaching the ruin. I sure went a long way around to get to this ruin. Take the next left, mistress. Okay. Here we go. Approach ruin. Okay. A ruin. It is a ruin from the Oxian Empire, mistress. It should only take a few moments, mistress. I recovered a book, almost blank but for some algebraic glyphs. Wonder how long it's been there. Along the spine there appears to be something marked, mistress. Quite a long spine. This is one end of a strand of fragment. Oh boy. So many options. Does, when, what's the longest thing that fits? Let's start there. This maybe? Let's see. This. Okay. Do we have something? This book. Okay. I think my word for book is correct. This book went... Don't know what that next bit is. Through... No, not through twice. That would have been silly. What now? This, no. Oh boy. Open. And of. I'm splitting it in ways that feel wrong. This doesn't feel right. No, it does not. Went. We can eliminate went. Is me in here somewhere? Me and this. Why is me and this so similar? This. I don't like open at the end, but through. I do like through at the end. I'm wondering what else I can do here. Open. This. We have this already. Me. Through and book. This book. I liked that beginning. This book. Blank through blank. I believe I remember the word book. Remember? 6 says... 6 does it remember? This book, blank through blank. So, talk. This book talked through. This book came through. Came is probably correct. That is... Turn is also emotionally related. That second symbol looks like a number 6 kind of. Could be a rotational symbol. Talk seems less likely. That is to be stationary, less likely. This book came. This book turned through. Seems weird. This book came through. Oh boy. My first thought was Starlight. Gates. Great. Open. The open. This book turned through. This book came through starlight. Wait, that's not the symbol for star. And we probably don't have a symbol for light. We have a symbol for open. Gates are things that open. Work could be? This book came through... maybe labors. I could still change my mind, but... this book came through labors? I'll let Huang take a look at it when I go back to Iox. This comes from the same source as the bell and the box that we were given on Elbereth. I'd suggest people often travel to both the two locations. It'll make it easier to locate. Oh, hopefully that isn't bad that I went on this road. Nah, the game's not punishing me for doing that. I do enjoy the music here. I'm debating whether I'm gonna see what time it is when I land. Do you think Brenda found the site from the mural we're after? It seems unlikely. But perhaps he would have if he had not been so careless as to blow up. Wow, 6. Ghost's Wake. Okay. There must be some deeper connection between this site and the last Emperor's hideout in the Cyclones. It is most likely a connection Master Enba was not interested in. I'm plenty interested in this. What was he interested in? I do not know, mistress. I believe the site from the mural should be around here. Let's look at our possible search locations. Okay, it would seem we have not been in these parts either before, mistress. I headed towards... where am I going? I'm getting a little sleepy, so I probably be thinking about wrapping it pretty soon. We have been this way before, mistress. I believe last time we went right, so let's go left. Huh? Uh-huh. We've got a ruin. A ruin! I would guess it dates from the Empire, mistress. I will investigate, mistress. I found a shard from a copper sword. Wonder how long it's been out there. The middle of the blade has been decorated with characters, too. Ah, we have something with machine over above in there. This is the end of a longer line of text. This? Cannot. Cannot be went? No, that sounds weird. I say that. It cannot be... This blank cannot be blank. I'm convinced my translation for cannot is right now. This tooth? This sword is a sword machine. It has fire in it. A thing is so generic that I can't imagine. This thing cannot be... listened? Lowered. I like lowered. So fall. Fall versus lowered. They're similar. It would suggest the 6 maybe expresses an intentionality. This sword cannot be lowered? I don't like thing. Machine. A city is... a tooth is not a machine. A thing could be a machine. A city... weird to call it a machine. There's fire in there too. Sword. This sword cannot be lowered. That will do for now. Okay. Let's see. I think this comes from the place we're after. We must be nearly there. Should make the exact spot we're currently searching for easier to find. Which way, Sticks? I do not know, mistress. That's what I'm expecting. Ah, I got it! Word for word, I got it 100%. Okay, we're gonna loop around. Oh, I wish I'd taken another turn now, but that's neither here nor there. It would seem we have not been down either of these paths before, mistress. The left one could get me off track, the right one seems to be shorter. We're gonna take the right one. Ooh, the audio cut out all of a sudden. Or it loops weird, perhaps. Or it's a dramatic decision in the score where all of a sudden all the audio drops out to leave suspense. Is that it? Is that what we're looking for? Let's bring her into land 6. The site from the mural. The last emperor had drawn a map to this place, but why? I think he made it sound like it was his home. Oh, what a landing spot.
Of all the sites I travelled to with the robot, most of them seemed lost, abandoned. But this one felt like it had been hidden.
I like the looks of this place already. Is it much further? Not far, mistress. Path turns here. Okay, we're gonna call it quits here. I thank you all so much for watching. I'm not sure what else I have to say, except I'm curious to see where this goes, and I really feel like I should have gone to that place a lot earlier, see the story how it was supposed to, but maybe I got to see some interesting things because I saved it for so long before I went there, but 6 getting possessed by Renba is kind of what it felt like happened, or played back a recorded version of Renba's consciousness. something like that. It was 6 was answering as if he were Renba, but didn't know if Renba was alive. So I feel like either this was mostly a pre-recorded message by Renba, or Renba somehow copied his consciousness or taught the robot how to think like him so it could respond as him, whether or not he was alive in some weird sort of way. Something like that. There's a chance I'll go back and watch some of this footage, some of the footage from the last episode, because a lot feels like it's happened recently. But it's interesting to me that I've gone through a lot of the game without what's likely its driving motivator, because that seems like the sort of scene that engages you and gets you pulled into the story. But I was having fun just wandering around and seeing things there were to see. Anyway, this has been PaperSpock, and I thank you very much for joining me on this journey, and I look forward so much to seeing you next time.